Hello everyone and welcome to part 108. I might as well inform you immediately that we are not going to be seeing Ninjamon through this Digimon. I did attempt to get Ninjamon via Palmon, and I did Digivolve as far as Palmon before realising the obvious problems that I was faced with. Basically, one of the problems was if I was to boost my stats as a way of trying to get a better chance of getting Ninjamon, the three main stats are MP, attack and speed, and problem was my brains was higher than my attack and speed, and that was a problem because if Digitamamon was to boost every stat, then my brains would always be higher than my attack and speed. If Digitamamon was to just boost my MP, defense, and brains, then my brains would become even more superior. If he was to boost my HP, attack, and speed, then by the time my attack and speed overtake my brains, my HP would probably be superior to my MP. Because the impression I got was that MP had to be 1,000 or more, attack and speed had to be 100 or more, but then I also got the impression that MP had to be superior to HP, and then attack and speed had to be superior to defense and brains. Not to mention that Digitamamon's foods greatly boost your weight, which would make Palmon far too heavy for the weight restrictions. For Digivolve into Ninjamon, you can try and bring your weight back down by not feeding your Digimon and just letting them go to the toilet and sleep and stuff, but then not feeding your Digimon is a care mistake, and then I would foul at the care mistake restriction. And I could try not influencing my stats, but when I had Palmon, I believe my HP was 300, my MP was 560, my attack and defense was something like 29, and winning 15 plus battles with those stats, even against the feeblest of opponents, it's quite ambitious. So I didn't even let Palmon Digivolve. I just thought, stuff it, this is ridiculous. I think my best bet is going to be between trying to get him through Vegemon or through his Ninjamon's Digivolution item. If, with Vegemon, if maximum discipline and 50 battles plus, if those are the only things that need to be fulfilled when sleeping in order to get a 30% chance of Digivolve into Digimon, if those truly are the only restrictions, then that probably is my best bet, because I can get Digitamamon to give me a reasonable stat boost so that I can win the battles. Discipline is easy to maximise. Yeah, so if the stat boosting that I do in order to win the battles, if the stats I have is relevant, obviously I'll be doing the stat boosting at the restaurant, of course. If the stats I've got don't influence the likelihood of it working, and if the weight boost doesn't influence the likelihood of it working, then that may be successful. And if scolding my Digimon as a way of maximising my discipline, I know it would damage my happiness, but if that doesn't have an influence either, if it solely is a case of battles of discipline, then I reckon it may well be achievable through Vegemon. That's if nothing else matters. Yeah, because Digitarmamon, his foods boost your stats, but they boost your weight as well, obviously. And then to boost your discipline, you can offer your Digimon items, wait for them to refuse, and then scold your Digimon. That's one way. Or just scold your Digimon. It's probably better to do it the first way, at least to begin with, because you don't want to be putting your happiness into the negative and getting the butterfly, because that could be a bit of a problem. Oh dear. If memory serves, this will take us up to the 24th day. So the treasure hunt will be ready. I think every time I go there, ready for Drimogemon, it feels like I'm getting more and more desperate for Ninjamon's item every time. Because the more time that passes, the more that I should have had it, but haven't had it. And obviously the more time that passes, the more pressure that I'm going to be under. Not to mention, the more I fail at it, the more I seriously wonder if it is going to work. So yeah, so every time the treasure hunt's ready, I get more and more desperate for Drimogemon to present me with the good news. The good news of telling me that he's found Ninjamon's Digivolution item. Because he has found a lot of Digivolution items. I'm sure I remember him finding Birdramons at least 2 or 3 times. And I'm sure and as for Barkamons, I'm sure I've seen that about 5 times. So he is finding Digivolution items. It's just not the right one. If I was to pick the special one where you send him out for 10 days, I would imagine there probably is statistically a better chance of him finding a better item, but obviously 10 days, that's more than 3 times what 3 days is, and if it fails then that's 10 days wasted as opposed to 3 days wasted. And I have used it in the past, and I don't remember it being a great deal better, to be honest. Although it's good to have Gabumon. Apparently, if you've got Gabumon recruited, then that, like, increases the chances of a good item, apparently. So yeah, so I'm just gonna hold on to the fertilizer, and so presumably Ninjamon will either be through Vegemon or through his Digivolution item. It depends how easy the special Digivolution from Vegemon to Ninjamon is. Because I didn't even know about it till recent. I've only read it online. That's where I've gotten it from. I have also looked to see if there's a better way of making Ninjamon's Digivolution items show up, but apparently it is just luck based. But focusing on the present, Xiaomon is down to 1 life, so we've got the all-important job of going back once more to get him defeated. And yeah, Xiaomon, he was, I believe, the second villain to show in the Digimon series, because obviously he was in the first season of Digimon, and if memory serves, it was episode 2 that he showed in. And that was when Agumon digivolved to Greymon for the first time and defeated him. Because the first villain was Quaggamon, and then I believe that, then I believe it was episode 2 where it was Xiaomon. So Xiaomon was the second villain to show in the Digimon series, I think, unless I'm overlooking something. Speedruns was number 3, I think. So I remember at the time, obviously the Digidestins were completely new to the digital world, and I seem to remember Agumon being the only one who was able to fight, and obviously Xiaomon at the time was like a big bad predator, and obviously Agumon managed to digivolve to Greymon and then managed to narrowly win. And then Xiaomon returned much later into the season, at episode 41 I think it was, obviously the episode after the Dark Masters made their debut, because I believe it was during Metal Seadramon. Because I remember when Shaomon returned later in the season, I remember thinking to myself, hold on, they've defeated Digimon like Devimon, Etamon, Myotismon, Digitamamon, Vadermon, Shogun Gekomon, Dark Tyrannomon, you know, all these Digimon they've defeated, and then they themselves have Digimon like War Greymon, Metal Garulamon, Mega Carboterimon, Sudamon, Armours, etc, etc. And I remember thinking to myself, is Xiaomon really a threat when you take all that into account, you know, after all this time? And then it was brought to my attention, it's like, hold on, the previous episode, episode 40, Enter the Dark Masters, they got completely thrashed in every way possible, and they were so, like, lost and hungry, they barely had the strength to move. And it's like, well, okay then, fair enough, point made. But they did, obviously Xiaomon was defeated because although they were only rookies, they attacked at the same time, and then they were able to obviously overpower him. Colamon, I thought so. The Colamon is one of those Digimon who I remember from the games before the series. With a lot of Digimon, when playing the Digimon World series, I'll see a Digimon and think, oh yes, it's that Digimon from that episode in that season. I'll remember the Digimon from the season. Although Colamon is one of the Digimon who when playing this game I didn't recognise from the season at the time. Although from watching the seasons on YouTube, obviously I do now remember him. I can't remember if it was season 1 or season 2, but I definitely do remember him now. Although I can't really remember what happened. I can't even remember if he was a villain. I assume so. I mean, most Digimon do seem to be villains. Because when you take season 1, there's the Digidestined Digimon, plus the Digimon who were influenced by the Black Gears, who were actually good, and then pretty much every other Digimon was a villain. Although season 2 was very different, I have to say, because a lot of the Digimon who were villains in the first season didn't appear to be villains in the second season, and it was only because of the Digimon Emperor's like black spiral things that were making them evil, but then when the spirals were destroyed, they then appeared to be good. But, season 2, I think, when it came to like main villains, I think season 2 was quite a bit poorer than season 1, although there was, I think, a lot more character development with the villains in season 2. With the Digimon Emperor, there was a lot of development, and then then it was, I think, Arukenimon and Mummymon, and then it was like the Digimon that Arukenimon produced. Obviously Black or Greymon being the most obvious one. And then that guy who was the one who I think created Arukenimon and Mummymon, although I believe he was a human. But then there was also Malomyotismon, obviously the return of Myotismon. It was the same Myotismon they fought in Season 1. I do wonder though, I mean, when you look at the Pokemon games, the games were how do I say this, in line with the series. Obviously the Pokemon games, the first season of the Pokemon games was in line with the first season of the TV series. The fourth season was in line with the fourth season of the TV series. The fourth season of the games was in line with the fourth season of the TV series, I think. Basically the games went well with the series. It was in line with it, and I've never played Digimon World 2 or Digimon World 4, although I do wonder if this is persistent with Digimon, because when I think about it, this is obviously the first Digimon game, and most of the Digimon are from the first season of Digimon. So if I go to the chart, I mean, when I look at the rookie Digimon, Agumon, Gabumon, Patamon, Biomon, Palmon, they were all the Digidestin's Digimon. Not all of them belong to Digidestins, but then I certainly do recognise most of them, and then this is true with the Champions and Ultimates. I wonder if this is meant to be in line with the first season of Digimon. Because when I think about when I look at Digimon World 3, or rather Digimon World 2003, which is what I have, I mean, the starting Digimon, a lot of them I know from the third season, and then a lot of the random Digimon that show are from the third season, but also the seasons before it, seasons 2 and seasons 1. Although I believe some of the Digimon are also from later seasons. I think Kumamon and Kokomon, I think, are from later seasons. But certainly in this game, most of the Digimon, if not all, are from the first season of Digimon. And then, like Digimon World 3 or 2003, most of the Digimon are from season 3 and before. It could just be coincidence. Treasure Hunt was day 24, wasn't it? So I guess it will be day 27, it's day 25. So I won't be going there for about 2 days. I'll save before going to Mount Infinity and call this the end of the part. So thank you everyone for watching and hope you enjoyed.